when you've done the SAP installation, you will get the 7 work process, 5 work process plus 2 services, total 7 process you will get in SAP, right? And also the default users are SAP star and DDIC at SAP level here. Operating system level, SID ADM is the operating system level here. So DB SID ADM, DB level, SID ADM is the user here, right? So, and also you will get the default clients. What are those default clients? When you've done the installation, you will get the default clients. What are those default clients here?
000,
Okay.
0065.
Yeah, there are the 2 clients will be created, 000 and 001. So these are the default clients. These are the master clients here. In this client, we have the master data will be stored here. In this client, master data means master clients. That means SAP standard data will be stored in this clients here, right? So in this client, SAP standard data will be stored here. So here to log into the initially to log into the SAP system, we have to use the SAP star or DDIC user. We have to use it, or so we can use these users here, right? Then later we can create the separate users, individual users to log into the SAP systems here. Apart from that SAP star DDIC, so we have the any one of the client you can log in, and we need to create the new client. That is the upcoming topic for the client creation. So for now, we can use our concept look to create the, so our work in the 000 or 001 clients, we can use it for the our configurations and work perspective initially here, right? So in the 7 types of work process, as soon as you build the house, how building the house means it's a brand new house you have constructed. Then after the house construction, the family members will stay inside of the house, right? So here also, once the building construction is done, means SAP construction is done, then so here inside of the here two bedrooms will come. Like one is the SES instance, second one is the application server instance. So then inside of that, the family members will stay inside of the home, right? So who are those mains? Here, dialog, update, enqueue, background, message server, gateway server, and spool service. These are the 7 process will come in the SAP by default after the installation. So they are the multiple dialog work process. Why? Because here, let's start discussing about the, so in the work process administration, the first one we are discussing about the, so dialog work process, right? So the dialog work process is responsible to dialog work process. So minimum one work process, minimum two actually, and the maximum, so many we can create it n number of, otherwise maximum is the 100. Okay, minimum is 2, maximum 100 work process we can create it here. So here, so what is the use case here? What is the use of the dialog work process here? Dialog work process responsible for response dialog work process is responsible for taking the user request, and processing the taking the user request and processing the user request here. So here the first dialog work process, it will take the request from the user. It will take the request from the user which are coming from the SAP logon pad. Then it will process the user request based upon the our work. It will process the all kind of work here, right? So let me see. You can see here in the dialog work process here. So here you have someone login with the administrator user and they are doing something. That's why I won't share the administrator password. Okay, so that's why you can see here we are able to log in here. We are able to log into the system here, right? Through the parameters which we configured here. If you click on here, then immediately you are getting the this screen means here you are getting the this screen means here the dialog work process is taken your request. You are getting the SAP screen. You are able to log into the SAP screen means because of the here dialog work process. Here the dialog work process is taken the your request here. Dialog work process taken the your request here. This is the main important thing here. So you are able to log into the system. SAP system means the dialog work process here. Dialog work process here. So dialog work process is responsible for taking the user request and processing the user request, taking the user request and the processing the user request here. So your login to the system means here the dialog work process. The dialog work process will take care of the all kind of work here. The transaction codes for the dialog work process SM50, then SM66 are the transaction code for. SM50 is the local work process overview, locus work process overview here. Then the transaction code for the here is for the SM66 here. That is called the global work process overview here. So SM50, SM60 are related to the work process here. So here we can see the work process status here, the status of the work process here. So the dialog work process are the responsible to take the user request here. Suppose if you want to log into the SAP, then if you double click on it here, SID, then you are able to log in here. You are able to log in here because of the you are able to log in because you are able to log in because SAP here work process dialog work process is taking care of the your responsibility. Dialog work process so taking care of the your responsibility here. Dialog work process taking care of the your responsibility. Okay, so that is the dialog work process here. So the transaction code for the dialog work process is here SM50. Here in the SM50 transaction code, here we can see the status of the work process here. The status of the work process here. Here, how the work process status here. Suppose there are the multiple status of the work process here. Status of work process will be here. So waiting, so running, sleep, stop, error, and hold, and preview mode, private mode here. Preview mode means private mode here. So this is the status of the work process here. Status of the work process: waiting, running, sleep, stop, error, hold, private memory, private mode here. Right? The responsibility of the work process is taking the user request, then processing the user request here. Right? So taking means it's taking the user request and processing the user request here. So when you enter the SM50, now it will open the work process status here. Work process status here. You will get the status of the work process here. You can see it here, right? You will see the status of the work process here. Here you can see so how many dialogues? We have the 10 dialogue work process means. So 10 dialogues at a time, the multiple users can log into the system here. Then update 1. So then background 6. Then spool. So total we have the 19 work process here. Dialogues are more here. Why? Because here dialogue work process are will play the majority of the role in the system here, which means dialogue work process will take care of the user request. Dialogue work process will take care of the user request here in the systems here. Okay. So here so you can see the work process status here, right? This is the number, work process number 0, 1, 2, 3, like this here. This is the type, work process type. DII means dialog, UPD means update, BTC means background, spool, update to. These are the types of work process are available in the system here. This is the each process ID. There is a process ID. It will be generated. So that is the process ID here. Here, the main important thing is the work process are waiting. Suppose if the work process are waiting status, it's free. Free means it's a waiting. Free. So running means so the work process is running with the some other user. Now we logged in with the system, right? Then that's why one session is allocated to the my user. I logged in with SAP. So 0001 and DD as the user. So that's why you can see one work process is occupied here. Here you are able to log in means here work process is taking care of the your request here. So you are logging to the SAP system. You are doing the work means because of here we have the one running work process which is dedicatedly assigned to the your user. Then you can log into the SAP system. Then you can do the all your work here. You can do the all your work based upon the the task which you executed. You can perform the your work here, right? So that is the what here it is showing here. It is running status, which means the user is doing something here. Yes, right? We are doing. I am with I'm user. I am running something in the system. So it is showing the something is running in the system here, right? So that is the process of the dialogue work process here. So from which user you used, what is the client, what is the program, what is the priority, then whether your work process status is running or not. So running means something busy with the work process here. User work process is busy. So waiting means it's a free to take the request from the browser. It's free to take the request from the browser here, right? So then like that, we have the status will come, depends upon the issue, the status come here. Waiting, running, sleep, stop, error, hold, private mode. So like that, the errors will come. Sleep means the work process is sleeping here. So it cannot perform anything here. So stop, work process stopped due to some errors here. Then hold, work process on hold to complete the other work here, right? Then private mode, work process using the private memory. Like this, depends upon the work process status. So the here in SM50, the status will be changed here. The status will be changed here. Now it is running. Means we are only I'm only one person currently. I'm running in the system. That's why status is showing the running status. The status is showing running in the system here. Okay. So that is what here we can see the things here. Right. SM50 is the local work process overview. Means one application server. Suppose like we have the in MMC also we can see the work process status here. If we go to the work process table here, here you can see the work process status here. Here also we have the waiting, running, sleep, stop. So like that there is the work process status here. In MMC we can check it out, or in SAP level, SM50 is the transaction code. There you can check the status of the work there we can check the work process, how many work process are there and everything. We can check it out here, right? So this is the dialogue work process here. Sorry, so here we have only few, right? Can we increase the dialogues? Now currently 10. Can we increase it? Yes, we can increase it, right? A background source, everything, all the work process we can fine tune. We can do the fine tune here. Why can we can do the fine tuning so that it will be increase it. If you increase the more, then more background work process, more users can log in at the same time here. So if you want to log into the SAP level, then your user ID, then if you want to log into the SAP system, so here the more dialogue work process, the more dialogue work process should be wait status. The more dialogue work process should be the waiting status, which means it's a free status here. If you have the more dialogues, then more users will log in. If you have the less dialogues, then less users can log into the system. It will be overloaded on the server here. So to avoid this confusion, what we can do, we can just create the multiple application servers. So sometimes in this operating system, you don't have much memory. So in this case, if you want to create the more space, then you can create the multiple application servers also. We can create it. Means currently we have the one ASCS instance. Second one is the application server instance here. Here we can add the one more application server instance. We can create it here. One more application server instance we can create it here in the system, so that here one application server, that application server related So work process status we can see. If it is the multiple application servers, then go to the SM66. Suppose I mentioned the /n. /n means you are already in the one work process. You are already in the one screen. If you want to directly jump into the other screen, then you can use the /n. /n we can use it here. If you want to directly jump it, directly you can use the /n SM66. Then immediately it will go to the that related work process status here. Here global. So currently we have the NWD04 only available here. So it will not give the more results here. It is the only one only one application server related profiles. The work process information will be showed here. One thing like one instance level information is displayed here. One instance level information is displayed in the group here. That is the work process status here. Okay. So local SM50 is the local, SM66 is the global one, right? So here you can see the local all the work process. If you have the more application servers, normally in the real time, especially for the production systems, how the landscape structure is here. So this is the presentation layer. So this is the application layer here, right? This is the application layer here. So this is the database layer here. So presentation layer, which means SAP GUI part. SAP GUI is the application layer here. Application layer here. This is the SAP application here. This is the database here. Database. This is the database. This is the application here. This is the application here. Here we have the SAP application means here we have the two instances, right? Two instances here. One is the ASS instance and second one is this is the one here. This is the application server instance where we have the dialog work process, update, background, and dispatcher, IGS, ICM will be available. That is called this one here, right? So here ASS we can keep it only one here. ASS can keep only one. ASS we can do that one only one here. ASCS here is we can keep it only one here. Here SAP app server. Here SAP app server here. Right. So here it is the SAP app server here. So now this is the flow here, right? Now this is the flow here. So if you are opening here means here dialog work process will take the control of your application server, take the control of the load, request, all those things here. So only one application server installed, but in the remaining days, in the coming days, your business is very high. Means users are logging very more users here. Then in this case, to avoid any slowness issues, we can keep one more application server in one more host or same host. We can create the one more SAP system here. We can keep the one more SAP system here. We can keep the one more SAP system so that the users distribution will happen based upon the load balancing. Based upon the load balancing, the users distribution will happen. Right? Got it? So here we can create the when you add the new application server to the existing system, then new application server instance will be created. New application server instance will be created in the SAP side here. New application server will be created here. If you install the one more, then you can add the one more application server. Means multiple application servers, single database, single ASS here. So multiple application servers we can install in the one host here. Why? Because for load activities, for users distribution, all kind of work. So we have to use this option. We have to use this option here, right? When we have to go for the multiple application servers means, so whenever there is a high load on the current application server, especially for the production instances, then we need to add the one more application server. Means just to go to the SWPM tool, just to add the one more application server. That is the possibility. That is the possibility here. So that is the possibility. Okay. That is the okay. So that is the SAP app server, application server here. Okay. Got it? Any questions? So one application server, we can see one application server means in that application server, we have the dialogues, updates remaining are there. So those 5 process status we can see. If we have the multiple application servers, then all these two related, all these things we can see it in the SM66. SM66 here. Got it? Any questions? Is it clear? Hello? Is it clear, right? Any confusion?
Sir, one small doubt. If we have a multiple application servers, if a request come from user, how it will map, sir?
Load, yeah, I will explain it. I will explain. First of all, so you got it right, SM66 and SM50 here. So when you have the multiple application server, here we have the message server. So when it comes to that part, so you will clearly understand how it will be request will be routed here. How the request will be routed. Message server here, it will route the request to the available application servers. The message server will check whether this is free or this one is free or this one is free. So which one is having the less load, then equally it will distribute the load to the among the application servers. Among the application servers, it will distribute the load. That is the concept of the message server. Now we are in the D only. So once we come to the before, then you will come understand here, right? So here, so I hope here you can see SM50, we can see the local, then SM66, you can see the global. You can see the global work process overview here. In the global work process overview, all the instance related, all the app servers related, not only here, you can see here, here in SM66, it is showing that work process for all the instances, it is showing here. All the instances means if we have the more than one, that will show here. More than 2, 3, 4, something like that, that will show here. 1 or above, it will show in the SM66 here. Instead of going to the each and every application server, we can check in the SM66 for all in one screen here. SM50 is for only for the local. Local means only one application server. That is called the 04 application server. Related work process related information, you can see it here. SM66 is the global, which means all app servers related information, we can see it here. Okay. So that is the main thing here, right? That is the, so work process here. The status of the work process, this is the status of the work process here. So waiting, running, sleep, stop, error, hold, private mode are the status of the work process here, right? So these are the transaction codes, local work process overview and global work process overview here. Local work process overview and global work process overview here. This is the status of the work process here. So dialog is responsible for taking the user request and processing the user request here, right? This is the dialog work process usage here, right? So here when we are logging to the SAP system means because of the dialog work process or waiting status, then we are able to log in. So in case if I stop the work process here, suppose like if I stop the application server, let's see here, I'm stopping the application server, then immediately you will be logged out from the system. You will be logged out from the system here. Let's see here.
Sir, in between a small doubt.
Yeah, see here, application server is shut down. Application server is shut down here. So which means, so here, now all are down here. Now if you log into the SAP system, now you cannot log in. It's not reached. You cannot log into the NWD now because here all the work process are dead. All the work process are stopped dead here. So it will not take your user request now. Now, when I just click on the hit button, start button, for stopping the SAP system and starting SAP system is in the MMC, right click on the MMC, just you can start and stop it, then it will take it further, then stop and start. So it will start the system, it will start the system here, right? If we want to stop the SAP system, then we have to right click and stop it here. If you want to start it, then right click and start it here. So restart means it will stop and automatically it will start it here. That is the restart. So then you can see the work process status here, right? It's a new, right? Just click on the open button. Now see here, work process not fully started. Now see, double click it. Now it will be loaded. Now it is loading. See here, immediately you won't get the SAP screen now here. As soon as SAP work process, now see connecting, please wait, please wait, please wait. So now what is happening? If any one of the work process is waiting status, now work process are waiting, then immediately you will get the SAP screen. Immediately you will get the SAP screen here. Till then, what happened then? Here one more work process in the application server, that is called the dispatcher. That is called the dispatcher here. What the dispatcher will do? Dispatcher, so take the request. So dispatcher is the responsible is dispatching the user request to available dialog work process here. So until then, until the dialog work process are waiting status, the request will wait in the dispatcher. The dispatcher will maintain the request in FIFO order, first in first out order, FIFO order here. So until all the work processor comes to green, then in order wise your request will be allocated to the respective dialog work process. The respective dialog work process will be here. In the system we have the dispatcher here. So dispatching the user request to the available dialog work process, it will handle the request here. That is the main thing of the dispatcher. Dispatcher means dispatching the user request here. So coming to the architecture wise, suppose I will show you the one architecture here. So this is the presentation layer, this is the application layer, this is the database layer here, this is the DB here, right? This is the DB. In application we have the ASCS instance, here we have the application server here, right? So let me write it here. This is the SAP app server. This is the ASCS. In the ASCS we have the message server, NQ server. So remaining dialog, update, NQ. So dialog, update, NQ, background, right? So gateway, spool. So these five are in the application server. Each application server you will get this 5 types of work process here. So DB is common. It will store the data which is coming from the applications. It will store the data here. It will store the data in the database level here, right? So this is the application here. So every application server, in front of the application server there is a one process is called the dispatcher. This is the dispatcher here. So what the dispatcher will do here? So dispatcher, normally we will, if when you are logging to the direct application server here, so dispatcher will take the request here. Dispatcher, now you are here, like you are in the SAP login pad. This is the SAP login pad here. This is the SAP login pad, means SAP GUI or presentation server here. You are here. From here, when you just double click on the SAP, then dispatcher will take care of your request. Then dispatcher will hand over to the available dialog work process. Then this dialog work process will process your user request and it will process the user request here. Take the user request and process the whatever he wants to do. So suppose when I log into the IRCTC here, suppose example, when I'm logging into the IRCTC, then immediately here the dialog work process will pick up my request here. Then until I complete the transaction, suppose like I'm trying to book the one payment, one flight ticket or bus ticket, then until I complete it, Then the here you are working here means the back end one work process is allocated, back end one work process is allocated to the your request here. That is the dialog work process allocated to your request here. Then until user log off, then that work process will not be free. It is the waiting status only. Until the work process is there, then I can log in here. Here, when I click it, immediately dispatcher will take and will assign to the one of the dialog work process, one of the dialog work, it will assign the request to the one of the dialog work process here. One of the dialog work process will take the your user request here. If you go to the SM50 here, here we can see the which is the work process is allocated to the your user here. You are able to log in now. Here work process number 5. So here work process number 5 here. Work process number 5 so is allocated to the your request here, right? That's why the status of the work process is stating the running status means until completion of activity you have to complete your booking. Then when you click the logout button, then that time the work process will come to the waiting status. So this will help to the others to log in and others to the activity here. This is the way serial wise, so the request will come to the available dialog work process, it will be allocated here. That is the main thing here. Okay, got it? So that is the dispatcher will do. Dispatcher dispatching the user request, which is available in the each and every application server. Each and every application server, the dispatcher is available. So this will allocate the request to the here. Dispatcher dispatching. Whenever we go the shopping mall or someone, there is a dispatcher, some dispatching. They will, you will book. So if you are booking the one order, then they will pack it, then they will hand over to you. They will dispatch to you, right? That is the dispatcher. So dispatcher is the dispatcher dispatching the request to the available dialog work process called the dispatcher. Every application server along with this five work process, we have the dispatcher also available here. So it will distribute the load to the, it will allocate the request to the your dialog work process here. Okay, got it? That is the dialog work process related information and dispatcher related information here. The next one is for the update work process in the DV. In the any questions before I go for the next work process here? Why? Because the initial things are very important. That's why I'm keep on asking the any questions.
Sir, regarding dialogue work process, it is fine. But a small question from my side is, can't we keep an ASCS and primary application server instance on one instance? Because it asked for two instances, right?
No, we cannot keep it in one instance. That is the previous versions, old versions we have. In one instance, we have so message server, MQ server, the 7 work process in the one. So now in the recent version, it will be creating the in ECC onwards, it's creating the 2 instances separately. One is the ASCS instance, second one is the application server instance. ASCS, we have the message server and MQ server, they have separated. Then remaining 5 are in the application server. Remaining 5 are in the application server. So we cannot keep it. It's a by design. SAP will, when you are installing, it will create the 2 instances. One is the ASCS instance, one is the application server instance.
Okay.
Sir, one more doubt, like how we add application servers
Yeah,
in
that is also part of the our screen. So yeah, I will tell you that one. That is also is part how to add the additional application servers here. So here, yeah, why? Because here these all are the upcoming classes here, right? So now you know dialog work process, right? So before I go for the telling the update work process, here I will explain you how to add the additional application servers. To add the additional application servers, go to the same SWPM software, right? Same SWPM software. Let me go to the SWPM. So why? Because we have to install the new application server here. Definitely, we have to go to the additional application server here. So someone already running the SAP INST. Okay. So I think keep them running. I will allow them to run it here. Once they have done it, I will tell you how to add the additional application servers here. I will explain it that one. So meanwhile, let's talk about the update. So then maybe possibly tomorrow I will explain about the how to add the new app server. Okay. Update work process. Are you clear with the dialog work process? These are basics actually. These are the basics. All are the basics actually. Dialog work process. It will take the request from the dispatcher, then process the user request here. Now only the main work of the dialog work process is processing the user request, here. Okay.
Okay.
So the next one is the update work process. So update work process is responsible is updating the user records into DB table level, here. So now with the dialog work process, suppose if the user done the some transaction, right? The transaction will create the one record. That who will update that record here? Then update work process will update the record into table level. User is logging with the dialog user, then he is creating the some records, means update records. The update records will be updated into DB table by update work process here. So the update related transaction codes are SM13, then SM14 are the SM13 and SM14 are the transaction code here. So here in the update in SM13, we can check the status of the update records here. Status of the update records here. Is there any update for updates are failed today or last month, from last month to any updates are failed here? It will give the information. So if anything is failed, it will give the information, the update, it will give the results like update records have been found here, something like that. It will give the information. Right. So user is logging with the dialog user, suppose I am trying to book the one ticket here, right? I'm trying to book the one ticket whenever I log into the IRCTC. So IRCTC here, whenever I am logging to the IRCTC here, so suppose like example I am telling here IRCTC. Then so whenever you open the IRCTC page, in the back end, there is a one work process allocated, dialog work process. Right now, from date to date, you are giving and you are booking the ticket. Then as soon as your ticket is booked here, what will happen? Immediately, it will, once you book the ticket, it will generate the one transaction ID, transaction reference, and everything, right? So then who will update that records into the DB table level? Why? Because database is very important to store the your transaction data for safer side, right? Why? Because so storing the data is very important here. So here in the DB is responsible for storing the data here, right? So here once the user is done the transaction here, it will generate the record. So the here once you done it, then the update the dialog work process will hand over the record to the update here. Then update work process will update the transaction into DB table level. It will update it here. So suppose in case update is not responding or something update is not working properly, then so what will happen? Your transactions and everything will not be updated here. Sometimes what happens? Your friend transferred the amount to the your bank account, maybe some delay, some issues with the server. Means what the issues? Maybe in the server the update is not getting updated the all the data in the promptly. It's taking some time because of the some issues here in the server. Like they will tell you like, so sorry, there are server issues, maybe it will take some time. Servers it will take some time, like that they will update you, right? It will take some time means sometimes what happens, update or process, it won't respond. It will create some issues that time. So your data will not be updated into the DB table level, database level. It won't update it here. So if something, suppose example, let me show you here one example here. What I am doing here, I am trying to create the one user here, right? So let me go to SM14, SM13, we can check the are there any failed work process, failed update records or not. Here we can find out the SM13. In SM14, we can check the status of the update. In SM14, we can check the status of the update here, whether update is active or not. In case of update is deactivated, maybe we have to come to the SM14, then we can activate it. SM14, we can activate the update. We can update the update work process. We can activate it here. Just activate it. Then it will take it. Now deactivated, right? Now I have deactivated the update record. Now I am your user. I am trying to create the one thing here. Suppose example, I am going to create something, but let's see whether my update will save it into the database level or not here. In SAP level, I'm going to book the some ticket or something I am doing. Okay, now it is connected to the something SAP, something like the some IRCTC or something. So let me show you here. So I'm trying to create the one user now. Okay, so here I'm trying to create the one user here. Okay, just to basis user I'm creating here. This will be our security topic. It will cover it. Just giving the one example here, how this will take care of the your request here, right? I'm trying to create the one request here. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm trying to create the one user data I'm creating here. Okay, just for should show the example here. I'm creating here, right? So here one company code, company, I'm creating all those things here. Okay, I'm creating all those things here in the system. Initially it will be very slow to operate the transaction ports here. Why? Because as soon as installation is completed, then we need to run the SGen, we have to execute it. So that is also one of the cause for the slowness here. So now when I'm trying to create the user, it will say now what is the result means the transaction will not be saved. It will not be proceeded further here because of your update work process deactivated. Update is deactivated. So it will not go and proceed further in the system here. So right. So what happening now? I am creating the one user here. One user I'm going to create in the system here. So now update is deactivated. Now when I'm trying to save it, so now let's see what will happen now. Save it. I'm saving here. So immediately when I was saving the transaction, update is delayed. Please wait like that. It is showing here because of why update is delayed means I have deactivated here. I have deactivated the update records here. So here, if you see here, if you see in SM13, there is a one stuck update record found. They see one record found here, which is coming from the SE01 here, which is generated by the user. And what is the date and time? You have got the all the details here, which means you are trying to create the, you are trying to save it. The data, it's not saving because of in the dialog mode, you logged into the system, then you are doing something, but here you stopped the update work process, but it's not saving here because of here it's moved. Now I will go to the SM14. Then when I click the activate the update, now you see in the minutes. Now you will get the like your transaction has been saved successfully, like that. You will get it out here. One message you will get means your data will be saved at the database level here. See here, see now user created successfully. So now when you go to SM13 and see the status here, see there are no failed entries here. There are no failed entries here, which means in SM13 no failed entries, which means here, so all the data processed successfully. Then who done it here? Who processed your data here? So here, once user done the transaction, update should update the data into table level. So here you have deactivated the update in the SM14. You have deactivated due to some issues. You have deactivated. So it should update, but it's not updating here. That is the main thing here. So if you deactivate it, it will be update work process stopped status. If you activate it, update work process active here. That is the one it will say here. That is the update work process. That is the update work process related information. Okay, that is the main thing here. Okay, so that is the update. So here the dialog, in the dialog mode, you are logging to the via dispatcher, you will log into the dialog process taking care. Then in the dialog mode, you done the some transaction. Then the transaction, who will update the transaction into database level here? Update work process will update the transaction into DB table level. DB table level, the update work process will available. Okay. So these are the two transaction codes here. So today we discussed about the dialog. So SM50, then SM66 here. Then update like SM13, SM13 and SM14 are the transaction codes here. Then we discussed about the SICK, consistency check, the updated consistency check here. Then the next one we discussed about only these things. Okay. Today the 4 transaction codes we discussed. So dialog and update related. Now you got the clarity here. So you are able to log into the SAP system means because of the dialog work process here. If the dialog work process are not free, then users will unable to log in, right? Will not able to log into the system here. So none of the users will log into the SAP system because of in case of dialog work process not available. In case of dialog work process not available, log into the system here. That is the one thing here, right? So that is the main thing. Once you've done the dialog login, then you have done some transaction, then who will update the records into table level here? Update will update the records into the table level here. Okay, got it? Any questions? The initial things are very important. That's why I'm asking each and every time. So are you guys are understanding or not? Right? Is it clear for update, dialog and update?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you can practice these 4 transaction codes. Okay, this transaction codes, 4 transaction codes you can practice for today. Just show the results here. And also as soon as installation is completed, the slowness we are getting, right, that because of the load generator is not executed. Whenever you have done the installation, what we have to do, we have to execute the SGen load generator. We have to execute it so that it will compile the all the programs and everything here. It will compile the all the programs and everything here. So what I'm doing here, I'm running in the using the SGen. So okay, I'm running the SGen. SGen is for the load generator here, SGen, right? SGen is load generator. So here using the SGen, so all the programs in SAP, whatever the programs are there, all the screens and programs will be compiled. Means for faster accessing purpose, it will be compiled. That's why we need to run. Once the system installation is completed, we have to execute the SGen here. So in the SGen, we need to generate the objects here. We need to select the component. I will select the one. Then you can run one by one. You can run it for the remaining objects here. Okay, I'm just selecting the SAP basis component here. So then go to the continue here, then continue. So whatever the programs are there, it will be compiled. Suppose example, if you take, when you purchase the new bike, so that time, sometimes we need to up to some kilometers we need to, that will be not the bike example. Okay, if I will explain the different example here. Okay, so okay, system is slow after the new installation. So then after that installation is done, we need to run the SGen. SGen means engine oil. Okay, engine oil. SGen is kind of engine oil here for smooth run. For smooth run purpose, without any delay, immediately to get the screens, we need to run the SGen here. So for one component I am running, you need to run for the others also here. Just for scheduling for the one component here. So now see here, it is running. It is active now. It is active status here. It is running status now. So, which means SGen is running here. Now, if we go to the SM50 here, there the multiple processes are associated. Multiple processes are associated for this one here. Out of 10 work process, only 3 are free. The remaining 8 are occupied. This is running. This is running. All are running status here. SGen. SGen is name of the program is SGen is running here. With which user? 001 DDS user. Your SGen is running here. Once this is completed, what you can do? You can run the one more SGen, one more run for the other components. Other components you can run it here. So this is for the to speed up purpose. To speedily get the program. Suppose like if you enter now SM50, you will immediately get the screen because of your program is compiled here. So that's why you need to run it here. You need to run the SGen here. SGen you have to execute it here. Okay. So that you can perform it one by one. Then you can also practice the dialogue and update related transaction codes for today. Okay.